Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I visit the Candyman so that I can live deliciously.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
You are mixing your movies there, but that's okay. I got both the references, so we're good. But yeah, you are correct, Remington. It is officially spooky season for the greater world. Technically, I think it might have started a week or two ago for the normal folks, but we're actually ahead for once, so we're doing it now. We're doing it now. And Remington, this is our favorite time of year, despite how broken and dead we are.
It's spooky, and I'll give a little spoiler for all the listeners because we have a bit of a buffer. I would say this is the last episode before we get
really
properly fucked up.
Yeah.
Like it's spook season, right? And we're extra busy because of that. But this right now we're just extra busy. Yep. By next episode, oh fuck.
Yeah. Like it's gonna be rough. Like you're gonna hear like extra husky Shaun and Remington.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great.
Which is a different vibe, to say the least. But, we'll have to see where it goes from there. But thankfully, we're prepared, so hopefully we'll have a constant stream of content. But with that in mind, Remington, I figured we should get a little bit spooky.
Oh, okay. Hey, we all know here I have my biases, and I'm very biased towards spooky bullshit. I'm likely to enjoy spooky bullshit, even if, let's face it, if it's not the best quality.
Correct. Yes.
If it's like a 3 or a 4 out of 10, I can probably muster some enjoyment out of it still. Usually,
yeah. We have our biases. We know what we like.
Though don't get me wrong, I would prefer it just to be a good spooky.
Right.
But my tolerance is a lot higher in this regard.
Well, it's okay, Remington, because I have one of the scariest things I can offer you right now.
Oh, no, don't pull that shit. No! I thought we were actually going to do something spooky!
We are!
I've been betrayed!
No, we're doing something spooky, Remington, and the spookiest thing I can offer you is a choice.
Oh, okay. All right, here we fucking go.
Because, Remington, we got a couple, honestly, hilarious emails recently from a bunch of different people. Complaining about what we cover on the show. Yeah, I know you haven't been paying attention to the emails much lately, but let me just put it to you this way, Rem. A lot of people have said things along the lines of, why are you covering all this weird niche bullshit? And I'm like, because it's interesting. Because it's interesting and it has a conversation.
Yeah, we have a good variety. That I would argue is a virtue, not a vice.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people being like, but there's so many new shows this season. And folks, I hate to break it to you, there's always going to be new shows in the season. We gotta spread that shit out. But
we always do a little bit of old, a little bit of new, a little bit of beloved, a little bit of hated. We across genres, across how well known it is. Yeah, you get to grab back with us. That's why you love us most. I mean,
the podcast is called Out of Context, for Christ's sake. Like, we picked the name very specifically. But just to give those folks a little something of what they want, and because it's easy to research, because, gang, there is nothing easier for me to do than to go to seasonals, because I can watch a handful of episodes and instantly know how to do an episode for the show, with very few notable exceptions, right? And so to appease the grumpy bastards who are complaining about us doing things that are on the older or weirder end of the spectrum, I'm gonna leave it up to Remington and have him choose one of the 3 spooky options from the most recent season.
Okay. All right. Can I ask a preliminary question?
What is your question, Remington?
Are any of them in the horror genre?
I suppose that's about perspective, Remington.
Okay,
I will confirm one of them heavily involves horror tropes.
Okay.
Right? And of the 3, it's probably the spookiest one. but I'm not going to tell you which one that is.
All right, I'll decipher it then.
Yep. Because Remington, as is tradition on this podcast, when it comes to spooky stuff, you gotta end choices involving you. The horror is in what you're choosing, essentially. And Rem, I have catered these three most recently finished airing anime to be a different flavor of spooky for you.
Okay.
The first one on the docket, right? This one is spooky because it takes one of your favorite concepts and makes an anime about it, and that, in enough, usually scares you, Rem.
Yeah, it is frightening. That is frightening. It went okay last time, but there was some iffy moments.
The concept in regards to this is the idea of social deduction and deception.
Ooh, I do like that a lot. But we've had a couple anime like pretend to be that.
Correct.
That ended up being trash.
Yes.
Ooh,
I will
spooky.
say this one is game-centric as well, so there's that overlap as well.
Okay, once
As
again,
in,
for
not
better or
as in
worse,
like a video game, but like
No,
the
yeah,
characters
yeah.
are playing games.
I like those are things I like generally, but anime often fucks that shit up.
I see you're starting to identify the spookiness. The next one on the docket, this one is all about... It has two flavors of spooky to it, Rem. The first one is spooky in terms of what it decides to show us. It's very much a visual spook fest for us. You especially.
Okay.
Right? Like, the genre itself isn't horror, but the things that we see, specifically that we see in this particular anime, definitely fit into a spooky choice that you know not much about.
Okay, ominous.
Yes, hey, that means I'm doing it right. And finally, the last one is a bit on the spooky side, simply due to the fact that it is a bit on the existential side. A little bit on the existential side, which, you know, we've had great existential anime, and we've had some fucking awful existential anime.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna immediately cut out the middle one. It's too ambiguous, too frightening. All right, not gonna fuck with it. It's gone.
Okay.
It's out of here. Existential or social deduction and gameplay. I like both of those theoretically.
I know you do.
Then how are they gonna be spooky? What does that mean?
If it makes you feel better, you didn't eliminate the one that has horror tropes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So one of them does have horror tropes. Of the two.
All right. Ideally, I'm trying to get to the one with horror tropes because I feel safer with that one.
Right.
Regardless of whether it ends up actually being better. Immediately, my thought with the one that like does horror tropes, right?
Right.
I'm like, if it's the one that's existential and it also has horror tropes, then what I'm kind of thinking is kind of down that vein. It probably wouldn't be like this, but there's a mockumentary, Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, it's a fun little mockumentary where it's like a guy hires people to do a behind the scenes as he tries to establish himself as an iconic slasher. It's fun. And that can get existential, just kind of figuring out your role and place in society while also playing with a lot of tropes.
Right.
That's the only way I can think that like existential could play with horror tropes immediately, is in that kind of way of like, are we the baddies? What's it like being a horror movie monster or something like that? For the social deduction in games, I feel like that would be more straight-laced. I feel like that one, if it has horror tropes, it's still going to take itself more seriously. It'll just have cliches as an aesthetic,
Right.
rather than doing anything meaningful with them. I think, oh no, is there one of these two that you think I'll objectively like more?
Objectively, I'm going to say, I will say yes. I will say yes.
Okay. But existential also has that ambiguity.
I mean, it's almost like I carefully picked out the clues I was going to give you to freak you out as much as possible.
All right, I was leaning slightly towards existential, but I'm actually going to do a last-minute turnaround, all right?
Okay.
We're turning this car back around. We're going to social deduction games. Let's lock this shit in. Let's go, all right? Let's go.
All right, final answer is the social deduction one.
Yep.
Well, Remington, would you like to know what you didn't choose?
Oh, sure.
All right, so the one you eliminated immediately, right?
Yep.
was one that I have mentioned to you previously.
Okay.
You remember Studio Gohans?
You'll need to remind me.
It's the one with the big human cat that's just Dylan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they made another anime during the season that I
Oh,
consider.
no.
Yeah, and it was the worst one of the two, and I showed you the better one. You just
I
dodged
see.
the bullet of watching the
This is the
horrible
one that I kept joking was cat POV.
Yes.
Blah,
Yes,
blah,
yes.
blah. Okay, good. I avoided that one.
Yeah, that one is simply titled "The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses." So,
Oh, no! With what you've told me about it and that title, that's terrifying.
yeah, no, like, it's weirdly an appropriate title, but also, dear God. It fit the horror concept pretty well, as far as I'm concerned. The other one you're not getting is simply titled Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead.
Oh no! So that was the one with horror tropes then, because that's
Yep.
zombie shit.
Yeah, nope. It's a lovely little show about the zombie apocalypse happening, and the main character is a office worker who is feeling existential and burnt out by his job and is using the zombie apocalypse to finally live freely. So that's where the existential stuff comes in.
God, I was even in the ballpark. I know,
Yep.
I know.
You did. But you second-guessed yourself, and unfortunately that's gonna have to be saved for another day. Both of those will have to be.
All right, well, let's hope that there is still another decent option.
Well, the anime we are going to be talking about today, Remington, is simply titled, and you're going to love how original this title is,
Oh no.
Liar Liar.
Okay.
Now, tell me, Remington,
I can already tell I chose bad.
do you know anything about Liar Liar?
Of course I don't.
Okay,
I
what about
don't, and what I'm gonna claim is I feel like it's gonna be some obscure bullshit. Well, I guess no, because we're trying to avoid that maybe. So maybe it's not obscure, but maybe it's like actively hated or something. Maybe you put 2 actively hated, 1 good one. I'm terrified. I'm fucked.
Well, so Liar Liar was a Jim Carrey movie from 1997. Right?
Okay, well, I knew about that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I assume you were asking about the anime that we're covering.
Oh yeah, no. The anime has nothing to do with Jim Carrey.
Then why did you All right, Lie story, Jim Carrey. It's Liar Liar. That's the one where he can only tell the truth.
Correct. Yes, and he's a lawyer.
Yeah. There's a different story where it's like there's multiple stories that play with this idea. Like,
Yep.
So he can only tell the truth. There's a different story that like everybody can only tell the truth, and someone discovers how to lie.
Yep.
There's a lot in this vein.
Yeah, yes.
Does this have anything to do with any of those themes?
Of course not, Remington.
Just padding for time. Signature
It's not that I'm
anime
padding for
out of
time.
context.
It's just that I'm trying to scare you, Remington. And it's fucking funny. No, Remington. The plot line for this very poorly named anime is very straightforward, which is not what you want to hear when it's about deception and social deduction.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's about our main character, Hiroto Shinohara, and he is a student on Academy Island, and everything on this island, all conflicts are settled through games.
Wait, now hold up a minute.
Yeah, what's up, Rem? What's up?
It sounded vaguely familiar. Hey, Yokes! Yokes, we're back, Yokes! Oh my god!
Oh, Rem, you're giving it too much credit. You're giving this too much credit.
Oh, no, fucking hell.
That arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Made way more sense.
Oh, it made more sense? What do you mean it made more sense? It made negative sense.
The point is, Remington, on this Academy Island, all conflicts are solved through games. And one day, our main character accidentally beats one of the most prominent players on this island.
I'm
And now
already angry.
everybody is coming after him, and he has to constantly use trickery and deception to maintain his position as well as to win these complex games. So,
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Let me level with you, Shaun.
Okay.
I don't have high hopes, but it is theoretically possible that
Right.
it's okay. There's a few things I'm going to be looking at, and I think I've outlined this before with similar anime.
Yep.
1, you got to be playing interesting games. Interesting doesn't necessarily mean complex, right?
You just got to frame them interestingly.
Yeah, just they have a little bit of room to think within. 2, creative solutions. And 3, multiple smart solutions that conflict with each other. All right? You have to put characters in a position where it's like, okay, so this would be a smart thing to do, but we got a lot of smart people, so a lot of them are going to think of that smart thing. If a bunch of people do the smart thing, then actually what the smart move is this, right? And so it combines like strong wits and a bit of risk taking, where you're able to show both how their brains work and how their brains work in different ways, but also their personalities and how their different approaches to these different challenges, right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you completely.
These are the qualities you see in all the best kinds of shows of this nature, and it's what I would hope to find here. The worst case scenario is that you have shitty and or nonsensical games, or even the games are fine, but then the quote-unquote creative solutions are shit that Armin would come up with in Attack on Titan, where it's like, hey, what if the brilliant idea is the obvious thing? Or worse, if they're like, hey, actually, what if we just break the rules? Isn't that kind of neat? And you're like,
so no game, no life. You remember that one?
Oh my god, yeah, and it's like, that's an option? Why? What the fuck are you talking about? Basically, what I want is social deduction Taskmaster. That's what I want from here. I want social deduction Taskmaster, and that's the goal. That's the goal. Let's hope.
Hey, Taskmaster, if you're listening, get us on. We'd love to participate.
we do great. Just both of us as one unit, one person, a single competitor in 2 bodies, if you will.
Yes. Well, look, I know there are only 5 chairs, but we'll sit on each other's laps. It's fine.
It'll be adorable.
It'll be very cute. People will think, oh, what's with that nice gay couple? And it's like, no, actually, they're just podcasters. It's a package deal, but it'll be fucking hilarious.
Oh, man.
We'll either be the most competent or the least competent. So...
I think we know which one will be. I got a hunch.
Look, I'm just saying, Mr. Horn, give us a call, please. We'd love it. But, well, Remington, before we get into it, I'm going to help guide your thought process a little bit about where this show is going to fall in the most simple way I can go. First of all, one of the themes listed on the mouse page for Liar Liar is psychological. So that's a good
that's a theoretical plus.
Yeah, and genre note is suspenseful.
Okay, I like both of those. I would also say both of those are insanely overused.
Correct. The other thing that I will say is that the studio that made this one, they're a pretty new studio, all things considered. Yeah, it's a studio called Geek Toys.
Feels like a little high risk, high reward. New studio, maybe a little bit more like experimental for better and for worse.
Yeah. They got started in 2017, which in studio time, that's pretty new.
Well, I say more experimental. Often more experimental, but sometimes the new kids on the block will just try to adhere to all of the basic principles to show that, like, hey, I can do this too. That'll be worst case scenario. Ideally, there are new ones trying to put their name out there and trying, because they're smaller and newer, to get a little crazier, take more chances. Let's hope. Let's believe.
Okay. And I will say, we did cover one anime from the studio previously.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if you're going to remember it, but the title alone will probably give you an idea. So the one anime we covered from the studio, and they only have like 12 options. Do you remember the anime titled Hensuki?
Hensuki. That sounds so familiar.
Well, the full title of that one was Hensuki, Are You Willing to Fall in Love with a Pervert as Long as She's Cute?
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, fuck.
So that was the one other show from the studio that we did, and that was released in 2019. It's been, 4 years since then. So let's see if their most recent showing is their best one yet. So I think without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's go watch into the not at all Jim Carrey related Liar Liar. And we are back after watching 3 whole episodes of the summer 2023 anime Liar Liar, not to be confused with the Jim Carrey movie. So, Remington, after you made such a bold decision in the first half of this episode, are you feeling like you made the correct one, or are you upset with me?
I mean, obviously it was the wrong one, Shaun. We knew that. We still know that. Nothing has changed. Here we are.
Well, I just thought that maybe once you actually watched it, there might have been like a twist. Like maybe there was some good things to talk about in it.
I suppose there's a couple of like very nuanced, if you squint, look, there's a good thing.
So you're telling me you didn't like the show?
Not particularly, no.
No. But you love social deduction.
Hey, Shaun.
Yeah, what's up, Rem?
All right, so say you and I are going to play a game with a bunch of other people, right? A bunch of other people.
Okay, yeah, we love doing that. We play games all the time.
And it's actually going to be social deduction, all right?
Okay.
So
All right.
say we pull out like resistance or something, or blood on the clock tower, okay?
Oh man, if only. That'd be great.
And we got a big group all around, and we're playing, we're getting ready, okay?
Right.
And it's going to be very interesting to see how everybody's like social dynamics, how people hold up to scrutiny, what clever strategies are employed following the rules of the game, right? But then we all like wake up and get ready, and we're all about to lie to each other, and I pull out a Glock. I just pull out a Glock and say, "Okay, everybody, tell me your role right fucking now."
Holy shit, Rem's got a Glock!
And so everybody tells me, and then I'm like, "Okay, well, I've solved the game. There we go. Settled it. Good game, everybody." And you might think, what the fuck, Remington? We were playing a fun game? Why? We were gonna have some cool social deduction moments, right? Enjoy ourselves together. Clever strategies. Yep. And you seem to just brute force it in somehow both an astonishing yet still boring fashion.
Holy shit.
And as our listeners will see, I think that's a very accurate comparison for this anime.
Just picturing you with a Glock, Rem. It's a wild situation. like I know we've mentioned the story of how you've interacted with guns in the past, but I still have a hard time picturing you with a gun.
The only
just
thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a Remington with a gun. I'm the only one. Only me. Nobody else. Just
nobody
me.
Else. Just
which is
Remy.
Unfortunate, because that provides a lot of liability, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and quite frankly, it's also extra confusing because Remington is also a brand of gun. So
yeah,
it's like,
see? And so you're like, wait a minute. It just all adds up. But
like, are you holding yourself or are you holding...
Oh, well, I mean, after watching this anime, I was definitely holding myself in the fetal position, sobbing. So we open up, right, with...
Okay.
There's like some bullshit like monologue in the protagonist's head or something. I don't give a shit. I don't know.
Dressing mostly.
Yeah. And we learn all about there's an island to determine the king of games. And see, on this island, all right, you get a bunch of young people together, right? See who is the best at games, the king of games.
Yes.
And of course, you need to figure out a way to measure that and determine that.
Of course, yep.
And
yep,
so
makes sense.
The way they do that is through stars, right? They use that through stars.
Interesting.
That you can win a player's stars from beating them. That's the primary way of getting those stars. And it's when you have enough stars that you're on the top echelon. That might sound eerily familiar. That might sound a little uncanny.
Remington. This is the most original anime we've seen in ages.
This anime, Liar Liar, is what happens if somebody has been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! On repeat in the background while playing Dead by Daylight. That's what I'm feeling. And all of you guys are going to be confused for a moment, being like, Dead by Daylight, the horror hide-and-seek game? Yes, but I assure you, it will make sense.
No, I think I know where you're coming from on this.
Yes, it will make sense. Yeah. We'll get there.
As a frequent Dead by Daylight player, I completely understand.
And you might think, the toxic community? No. Well, I mean, technically, yes, but no. We'll get to the specifics. So we get a lot of exposition on that, a lot of expositions on the ratings. Protagonist shows up and finds a redheaded girl, is like, oh my god, you're so fucking hot, holy shit. And then we get like this weird too literal tutorial about the app that's used for the game. And when I say too literal, I mean, it says we get like over the shoulder shots. It's like, all right, so now on your phone, you'll see that this app is here. If you tap on that app, it'll open the interface. On the interface, here are the different options available. This is where you'll go to find these things. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Why are we spending the little time we have on this great earth watching an imaginary fantasy tutorial where nothing fucking happens? Like, why? It doesn't matter how I get it. You can challenge others in the app. Cool, there we go. That's all we need. This app can challenge others. All right. I got the rest. You don't need more.
But Rem, I mean, it surely must be a very complicated system if they take painstaking time to cover it, right?
They talk about where to find the app on your phone.
Ah, man, if only there was a search function to find apps on your phone.
Like, it's explaining, like, it's as if, and this would make a far more interesting story in my mind. It's as if someone's, like, technophobic grandpa ended up on this gaming island and is like, all right, I don't really understand how any of this works, but let's go. Like, that's how they're treating the protagonist. And the protagonist is simultaneously one of the stupidest motherfuckers ever and one of the most awkward motherfuckers ever. Meanwhile, he's also
Remington,
the most suave, confident, smooth, and intelligent guy on the entire island. Both are true. Both are true at the same time and at all times.
Yeah, that's what it says right here on the paper, Rem. It says that he's both, awkward and a loner, but also incredibly clever. So, like, clearly, like...
The whole premise of the show is, like, okay, he's a dumbass and he needs external help, but actually, like, already by episode 3, they're like, oh, but even if he doesn't receive external help, he's just so clever that he can actually handle his own, so it's fine, I guess. In which case, what's the premise? Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm getting angry.
Yep.
So we get this too literal tutorial about the app. The girl is helping him out, but then sprinklers turn on and she gets like pissed and paranoid and is like, you set me up for humiliation, didn't you? You got into the sprinklers or something. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah, how you like, let's do a game then to clear up this misunderstanding. I don't really know what's going on. It feels like a non sequitur from like, hey, I'm helpful. Oh shit, the sprinklers turned on. You are trying to fuck me out of my whole reputation on this island. How dare you? The only way I could possibly believe that you weren't in on something is if we challenge each other to a game and defend honor. I don't know. I don't really know where the logic is here. I suspect there is none. But
yeah, no, dog, there's not.
We're getting to our first game. All right, we have an official challenge where once again we have an exposition on how to like accept challenges, I guess. And the challenge, all right, the first game and the whole thing, all right, you're expecting strategy, you're expecting intrigue. What you're not expecting is mediocre YouTube trends. You laugh, you lose. All right, here we go. Oh, but this is modified. This is just if you react, you lose. If you have any change in facial expression. Okay, not necessarily my idea of like a great opening game, but there's still stuff you can do with that, right? And surely, like, this girl, who, as we learn, is supposed to be insanely competent, like, she's chosen the game, she would choose one she's incredible at.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, like, if you're challenging people and your reputation is at stake, and you get to decide what the game is, of course you're going to choose the one that's most advantageous to you, right?
Yeah, so presumably she's just very stoic, right? And then we get exposition about abilities, because they didn't tell you this, but they're inside a video game. They are literally...
No,
they are.
Ram,
this is a video game isekai. Don't let them lie to you. They skipped the bit where he was transported here from the game, but this is a video game isekai. And so there are abilities, and this is where it's like straight out of Dead by Daylight, where it's just, all right, what's your loadout? What's the best abilities on here? Oh, that's a fucking cheap-ass ability, fucking loser. How dare you use that? That's unfair. It's just all of that. There's just endless abilities. Some are game-breaking, some are meaningless. Why is this here? Also, like, theoretically, you can challenge them to any game, and you're kind of expected, I guess, to have a loadout ready in the moment, but you don't know what game is going to happen, so... what the fuck? And then, like, what kind of abilities are there? All right, so how the game works is they're each going to take turns and have 1 minute to make the other react, okay? But she uses an ability that cuts his time to 1/10 of his time. So he only gets 6 seconds.
That seems a bit broken, Rem.
Yeah, being like, hey, fuck you, you lose. Like, what the... Jesus Christ. So that's her first ability, okay? And so he has a 6-second turn where he's just kind of stunned, and she's like, now it's my turn, and I'm going to use my second ability. All right, so her first ability, very useful in this situation, because in every 66 seconds, 60 of those are hers. But now, her second ability, which I think, I think you will agree, this is very helpful in trying to get somebody to react. It's like this cyber blade. It's a laser sword that she just pulls out and then goes to shank him. Just goes to cut him up a bunch. And it's like, oh, that's...
I mean, it works.
I guess that is the strategy. I guess if Remington pulls out the Glock, then he will find the answers he's looking for in the social deduction game. I can't help
I don't know.
but feel it's not necessarily in the spirit of the game, but
Rem, you don't understand. I'm way too stubborn for that. I will stare down that Glock as much as I have to.
Yeah, but then I'll be able to read you and know that you're the traitor anyway, so it all works out. But
it's not my fault. I'm always the traitors in these
every
games.
time. But and now our lovely listeners might be thinking, well, surely the protagonist, he's fucked. He's either going to die or at very least react, right? But then after a minute, it's finally his turn again. He only has 6 seconds. What does he do? He does fucking nothing. Fortunately, in that same moment, the sprinklers, which turned off, turned back on because they're having some like malfunction or something. There's like a vague sign about it. They turn on. They make her more wet, and now she's embarrassed and reacts very bigly, and so she loses. And her losing causes her to lose a star. I don't know why. And now it makes sense.
Yeah,
now here's the thing. It makes all of you guys are like, well, I mean, she lost, she loses a star. That's how it works. Yes. Until every other battle we've seen. Because every other battle we've seen, they don't transfer stars at all. So why did this one transfer a star? And more specifically, they transfer a special star. A super special star. It's the red star. Ooh. What does the red star allow you to do? It lets you lie. What the fuck does that mean? You can do whatever the fuck you want. You're a god. If you're asking for more details, fuck you. You can change the metadata of the system itself, of like your digital ID, to say anything. And you might think, okay, it'll say that, but what does that mean? It means everything. Because the principal of the academy is wildly corrupt because they want a prestigious student. So they're like, just be a 7-star student. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom. And he's like, what the fuck is going on here? And I'm also like, what the fuck is going on here? And it's like, yeah, and then you'll be a 7-star student, and a lot of people are going to want to challenge you. They're going to want your ass. Don't worry about that. It's fine. But then we later learn that this is only one academy on this island. There's one academy on this island, but there's 20 of them total. There's 20 different academies, and apparently any given principal can just go up to their students and be like, hey, I'll hook you the fuck up, and look, all we need is a 7-star player, and we're seen as really good. So if I can just make you one because I'm the principal and I have a lot of authority, right, to manipulate the circumstances, even without the like lying star, you can just be like, all right, these shit students, they're gonna give you all their stars because I'm the fucking principal. Fuck you. Like, I don't. What system is this? What are we doing? Why do we need 20 different academies? Why do we need extra abilities that break the silly games that are already being played? What the fuck?
Oh, Rem, it's almost like this anime does everything you hate about game-based anime. And it was designed to purposefully hurt you, it feels like.
It's so frustrating because there's plenty of good things out there. Like, hey, Squid Game Caught Fire is pretty good. Squid Game, pretty good. And it has a solid strategy, pretty straightforward games that you're like, yeah. Even something that's like a little bit more convoluted, and it definitely hit or miss at different times. It's Alice in Borderland. Alice in Borderland is another one that, I don't think it's like 100% of the time really good, but compared to this shit, oh my god, so much better. Holy fuck. Like, when done well, it's interesting to see how people handle these crazy situations. And even the idea, because after this, what happens is our protagonist is given access to a group of hackers that by hacking they mean magic. They can do anything at all except when they can't.
I mean, hey, hacking is essentially magic to people who don't know computers.
And so it's like, okay, they're just really good hackers, and they're gonna keep this poor 1-star pretending to be a 7-star. They're gonna keep him on top, right, surreptitiously, because they gotta hide it because it's against the rules for anybody to help you in games. keep in mind, we will see people help him in games later. Like, they just step into the, like, hey, here to provide some moral support and help out a little bit. And it's like, oh, okay. What the fuck? Are there rules? Does any of this matter? Why do we pretend
Remington.
like there's a structure here?
Well, Remington, aren't shows about people having high-stakes games much better if everybody is constantly cheating and ignoring the rules of the games? Isn't that exciting? Because you won't be able to tell what happens next.
Yeah, you'll be like, oh man, is this a tense situation? I guess they'll tell me later if it was tense or not. Because
if you should retroactively feel
yeah,
tense.
it's like, oh shit, does this matter? I don't know yet. I don't know. They said it was important, and we'll see if it actually is, I guess, because who knows? They've said these are the rules, but, who knows if they actually are? The second game we get to, right? The second game we get to, we don't even see. It just happens off screen. The second game, it's establishing, all right, this is an anime all about these games and these things. We don't see any of it. And it's just like, good thing we hacked them, so we won. It's like, what the fuck? What happened? The third game is just a race. And for the race, the girl against him has a huge decked out motorcycle, and he's just gonna walk it. And then they just hack the motorcycle, which, what the fuck? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, hacking the motorcycle to make it stop? And then, even though she's then much further ahead, she just kind of like lays down is like, well, I don't have my motorcycle, so nothing I can do. As he leisurely walks to the finish line. And then,
which is hilarious because she's right next to the finish line.
Yeah, and then the final game is like more complex, and then the basic, he's against an incel, and the incel has a bunch of like OP abilities, including some that just stop the hackers from doing anything. But it's okay because protagonist is just such a smart genius boy who he's able to already strategize how to use his abilities, his level 1 abilities, in game-breaking ways. Keep in mind, he's still a 1-star despite winning multiple battles. So when do you win a star? If he loses any battle, he'll definitely lose a star. But he never wins a star. And you might think, okay, that might make sense if he was actually like a 7-star, right? He wouldn't be winning stars. But that is the lie. If anything, it would be a little bit intriguing if like somebody gets beat by him, right? And then it's like, why the fuck did I lose a star? They are already a 7-star. I shouldn't have lost a star. That's bullshit, right? And then like you can have some intrigue there. You can have an interesting story where you have basically a patsy who shows up and there's like powers above him being like, we're going to use you and manipulate you, and we're going to bring you to the top, and all you get all the glory, all the fame, all the rewards, but we'll get some profit on our own end, and then you can have them like gradually feel uncomfortable, come into themselves, or some bullshit like that. I don't know, there's so many ways that you can take a lot of these ideas, and at every turn they do the worst, least interesting one. It's such a shit show. It's so bad. There's nothing interesting that happens here. Okay, there's one interesting thing that happens here, and it's the outro has this weird little Roblox voxel art style. That's kind of interesting, I guess. They have a tiny bit of self-awareness by calling the incel group like the Holy Knight Brigade, and I'm like, all right, that I'll take it.
That's a little amusing.
Yeah, that's a little funny. Everything else, it's all bad. It's so shit. I didn't even mention that like the girl he beat is like the daughter or granddaughter of the founder of the academy, but actually not, because the actual daughter went missing or something, or they did a switch in name, and she used this girl that we see is using the Liar Star to pretend like she's them. But now that she's lost it, nobody's got the memo, even though now she can't lie. And the only way now that people will know is if they get the red star from him, even though she doesn't have it anymore, so she can't lie anymore. But people are just like not looking at her profile at all again, I guess. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, buddy. I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel bad this time, Rem. If only you had chosen one of the other two options.
I made a last minute 180 and I regret it profusely.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bud. I genuinely thought you were going to choose the one that guaranteed had horror themes considering the month, but no.
Well, I didn't know which one had horror themes, all right?
Right. That's true. But, you fell on your own petard, my friend. Or however the saying goes.
Just fell on it, just...
You just fell on it, yeah. Petard's pretty big, easy to fall on. You never know when you might trip on one. Oh, God, Rem. So all in all, as far as game anime, it's not the best, you'd say?
It's really bad. It is really bad, which is unfortunate because,
conceptually, you're all about anime that are about complex games and clever solutions and social deduction.
I'm just gonna say it, all right?
All right.
If you're gonna make a show all about the different games that are played and the ways to, use and abuse them and all of their things there, right? You have to be an intelligent writer. And if you're not, just don't write something else. Write something else. It's okay. It's all right. Right? It's okay. But leave this genre for people who are willing to put in the actual effort, because otherwise, what the fuck is the point? There just is none at all. The joy of seeing these things is to see all the ways that the rules can be used and abused. Once again, I made a vague reference. It's like Taskmaster, right? It's always fun to see people try to get creative and clever and outside the box, especially if you heighten the stakes. Then it can be really good, really quality shit. As it stands, it's nonsensical and bullshit and bad.
You're doing really poorly when the first major arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is miles better than this.
Oh god, I would easily take that because it's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was fun wacky, right? Where it was just like, what the fuck? Yeah. This is off-brand.
There's a kid with dinosaurs. He loves dinosaurs, and he's gonna fight with dinosaurs. That's great.
Yeah, this one, I don't care about any of the characters. They're so bland and boring, and it's the same old bullshit. The stuff that they're doing, they needed to lean further into what Yu-Gi-Oh! Leaned into, or not even have tried, because that's the only hope they had, and I feel like they had to have known it with fucking Academy Island and the stars for the King of Games. They had to have known, but they only went halfway, and if you only go halfway to Yu-Gi-Oh!, well, then you're a mundane level of bad.
And that's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, that's just that's bad, and why am I watching you? You're not crazy enough that I would recommend it like I would for Yu-Gi-Oh! For Yu-Gi-Oh! Oh, baby. It's a clusterfuck that everybody can enjoy. This, it's just dumb and really poor quality.
Well, Remington, if you had to guess the Mal rating of the score, where do you think it's sitting at? Because do you think the weebs agree with you, or is this more of the weebs have lost their minds again, and what are we supposed to do?
Ooh, this one's a tough one. Dude, I'm fucking clueless. I'm gonna say that the weebs don't really like it, but that they don't actively hate it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say 7.08.
Is that your final answer?
7.09. There we go.
Okay. Well, Remington, in this most recent summer season, there were a lot of very popular shows that came out, so only about 35,000 people watched this particular show.
Okay.
My sad ass was one of them because of this podcast. And all in all, they gave a solid rating of 6.33.
Holy shit, they despise it.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. The amount of people that dislike this show is higher than the amount of people that like the show, and that's a rarity.
Good God.
Yeah, if you consider most weeb ratings if they put it as a 6, they kind of dislike the show. It's there are more votes in 6 and below than there are 7 and above.
I don't understand why they all hate it so much, but at this point, I'll take it. I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, no, hey, Rem, it's a lot of what you've said.
Yep.
Some people have even accused the writers of using AI to come up with the games and scripts.
Dude, it wouldn't
Which,
surprise
unfortunately,
me.
I don't think that's true because it feels a little too human arrogance.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that AI did it. I don't know whether it would be a relief or a grievance if I heard that it was the case. Both are dystopic for this kind of shit.
Well, I mean, it's a light novel adaptation, so that should tell you some things.
But why do they always feel the need to insert stock video game abilities in the most literal and obnoxious fashion? Just put them in a video game. Just put them in a video game. Don't pretend. Just either go all in or don't do it at all. Don't do this weird half and half.
Yeah, they wanted to go for sci-fi and instead they got, a mess.
Like, it's not hard to be like, oh man, here's what this cool thing does. But they're just like, yes, you can use this magic. It's like, what? Why? 'Cause...
As a man who loves his magic systems and enjoys playing complex games, this anime is infuriating, Rem. And generally, most people really dislike it. Not many people watched it, but those that do weren't fans.
It's playing D&D, but every level of spell, all of them are just wish.
God, that would be
and it's like
so
wish,
bad.
Something that feels like vaguely like a level 1 spell, but could also, it can also just break the game. Why not? Who gives a shit? And so every single spell is just, I don't know, what makes me win? What makes me win? And then another player's like, oh, shouldn't we be telling an interesting story? And it's like, fuck you.
Yeah, no, you can't win D&D, folks. That's the truth. And this show tried. See, I called it a game, like subconsciously, because that's all they care about. But yeah, nah, Rem, that's essentially the story. So good news for you, everybody hates it. Bad news for you, you had to watch it. And so did I. But with that in mind, Remington, I suppose the final question I need to ask is there any chance you'd want to watch more Liar Liar?
No.
Or would you just prefer the Jim Carrey movie?
I would happily watch Jim Carrey instead of this one.
Yeah. I think that movie still holds up. I genuinely can't remember. It's been like over a decade since I've seen it. So who knows? Who knows? But with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Remington losing his goddamn mind over his poor decision making, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google, wherever, and leave us a review. They mean the world to us, and we do read every single one. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where you gain the opportunity to watch myself, Dylan, and Remington occasionally play video games very poorly once the Haunted House season is over. But if that is still not enough for you, patreon.com/animeoutofcontext has loads of bonus material and the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Remington, who are we thanking this week?
Well, as always, I would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to our yandere waifus, who are, deceiving and lying to us in increasingly convoluted and confusing ways. And on that list, we have, my name is First Now Bitch. Oops, sorry, I was just overly excited. You're not a bitch, please don't hurt me. Drunk Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Miska, earnestly expecting praise and reward. Zombie Stomp, Xanix, your weekly reminder to wash your pits, Shaun. Yandere Neko, why Shaun? Whenever Shaun parts the kimono, a small child flies out yelling, Nico Nico Ni. When is the...
I don't like that. I really don't like that.
Alarming image. When is the Forest Fairy 5 revisit? Weekly haiku about Papa Shaun. His birthday is over and he still hates blue. Pretty fucked up. # Sawdust Rebellion.
Don't hate blue.
Seems like you hate blue.
Who says it?
Watch Eva and I'll write a poem every day for a month. Walk me home gently. Utah #1. Username Unhinged Tracks. Truckoon Appreciation Society. Trojan Manly Man. Totally God's Angel. Titan CNH. Thopternaut King. Ruler of Ornai. The Villain Behind Glasses wants Welcome Cheetah revisit. The Susanator. The Drums of Liberation will save us all from all hentai. The Cool Dude who changes his name every week. The Chosen Juan. The Capybara are in love with half a man. That guy that makes Rem say cunt at least once a week. Thanks for being the best thing to listen to while working out. Y'all's mostly agreeable takes to distract me just enough. Tattooed Weep, Swedish Weep, Super Zeus, Stacy's Mom, Snaky Pie, Silent Secondary, Shoujo Addict who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun, I want to be stepped on by a big titty goth girl while you show me some spooky anime tits. Jesus Christ. Seth Senju. Sugoi Kai, that's what she said. Ross Palmer. Rest in peace, Bob Barker, the OG waifu everyone let out a doo-doo-doo-doo in remembrance. Brandon Williams. Rem uses the drums of liberation to free all weebs from bad anime. Rem loves the big hole. Rem doesn't completely hate my favorite shows. Rukuko Shinju Review Copium. Professor Fox. Pro tips out of context. Special interest groups owning representatives is proof enough that slavery is yet to be beaten. Praise Haruhiism. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Haruhi? Pacuel Musico. Other McNutt. Oh no, I fucked my sister. Oops. Nitsira. Nice opinion, Shaun. One small problem though. IP 9228 455 672. Whatever the fuck that means.
Did that just wake up a sleeper?
I have no idea. Nice legs, these dukes makes a man go do. Miska fell victim to one of the classic blunders. She got involved with the land war in Asia, realized Miska far too late. Mechazap, Macaroni Uchisa, Love AOT, and the pod. Unlike the pod, after 6 months of focused listening, Lonely Ginger Weeb, Link Joe Girl, Lick My Ass and Call Me Daddy Rem, Liam Dunn, Cassidy, Jax, Jam Hands, Jacob Iverson. I need that vitamin dick. I mean Dylan. I simp hard for that voice. Hunter Tane, Hunter Davies. Hey Shaun, let's do Full Metal Alchemist revisit. Hey Remington, Brandon's grandma misses you all. She yearns for your secret sauce. Hey Rem, Portuguese word of the week. Acabara minas ideias. Google McGigglefuck. Glenn Michael Dolan, George Edward Bottom, aka Bear Trap, aka Lin-Manuel Miranda Muse, aka Fratricide of Autotop. Shaun likes to do autofellatio. It's true.
Pardon?
Forest Fairy 5 is the best anime. Farmer Weeb wants Rem to know he can PM me directly for more dog shows. You can watch at half speed. Fantide, F-Bomb, Erica McCorkle, Daniel Riot, Daddy Rem, will you kiss my weeaboo-boo and make it better? Now Samantha calling Daddy Shaun an accident is rude. Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Cryptid MILF. Crypt Killer Steve. Country Fred Goth here to remind you that you just lost the game. Cheese Monkey. Cat girls are best girls, so give them cute little paws. Brockhart for Jew Dude says his update sucks ass, man. What a joke. Big Blue Bear Boy. Burt B. Phlegm. Anonymous Gamer. Anime Out of Context ruined my happy sugar life. And with motion of adoption now complete, we turn to our next motion to your honor. The case one, Shuichi Kagaya. Amazing Muffin. Elise Howard. Alabama Weeb with too many peaker stickers on car. Every day is a driving risk. AJ Tunnels. All right, which one of you's glued a cord to my inhaler? Now I got no glue to sniff. Aisha Gudgy. Adaze. Aaron Hegland. And there we go. Now we move on to the Boy Wizard tier, where everybody is going to have a lie that they need to tell in the next week. And it's from the most common white lies. We start with, what does Daddy Rem say to Mommy Shaun? And I'm almost there. Now you decide which context that's in. Vincent Calabrese.
God, I hate that. That's actually an accurate one.
Yeah, right. Vincent Calabrese, it must have gone to my spam folder. The Drew is Tired Cheese EP. My phone died. Canadian Anime Stoner. My phone's been acting weird. It's just so strange, actually. Who knows? Ryan Loves Melina. It wasn't that expensive. It's a perfectly reasonable price. Rowdy-O, let's just do one more. One more, and then we're done. Rose Scott, I don't really watch TV. Rent a Girlfriend Revisit Now and make Rem watch some more Sword Art Online. It's so great to see you. Wow, Jesus. Reincarnated as a trucker, you get the big hole. Please consider the Magical Girl musical of Healer Girl. I want to know Rem's opinion. You get, I don't care about looks as much as personality. Pale Mare, you get the big hole, but you get, I've slept with blank number of people.
How out of date is this list? Feels very...
How dare you say that 40 things people lie about most often from bestlifeonline.com is an inaccurate list. Nuh-uh, spy. You get, I read or watched that a while ago. Yeah, you're definitely familiar. You didn't just, see a trailer and then go based off of that. Monogatari is everything you guys say you want in an anime. This week characters are straight lolly pervert and rich girl. Your lie is, oh yeah, I remember you. Mike got his Overlord review. Oh, that makes sense. Look, we're all dumb fucks. None of it makes sense. Miguel De Leon, for you, I'm having trouble hearing you. Followed by, usually, I'm going through a tunnel. Massimo Martelli, oh shoot, I forgot to do that. No, you didn't? You didn't forget at all? You're just lazy cunt. Latino just heard someone whisper, I want to eat your pancreas. You get, it's not you, it's me.
Fucking harsh, dude.
Cougar, you get, I'm okay. Oh,
that's too real. That's too real.
Kafka's my mommy.
Why did this list suck and then go?
Who knows? Who knows? Kafka's my mommy, you get, traffic was nuts. If ass was not meant to be eaten, then why is it between two buns? You are going to get, I try to get to the gym about 4 times a week. Crimson Reapers just because of the scythes. You get, I've got plans that day. Chromatic, I love it. Carver 271, you get, let's hang out soon. Cameron Coates, you get, I've got plans tomorrow, nice and early. Blood Cell, not the bitch white ones. I got that cold that's going around. Beethoven 1201, you are going to get, just kidding. You weren't just kidding though, were you? Animated Z, you are going to get, that looks great on you. All-Father Gambler, you get, your baby is adorable.
That's funny. That's funny.
And second to none is, oh no, I only have 2 Dockies. So there we go.
Oi.
What? It's a very common lie, that's all.
I've never said I only have 2. Well, actually, yeah, no. As soon as I got a second one, it quickly was followed by, the other 5. So...
And then bunch more after that, I know. Now we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where Shaun, as Joey Wheeler, will say a very specific multi-part fact about you, and I will point out where the lie is. We start with second to none. No, we start with you have a horse, are willing to pretend to be a Christian with piercings in fun places.
Wow.
I don't know what I don't know how to parse that, but Shaun, go on.
Let's see here. Excuse me.
Well, you know what? Let's just make it's 2 truths and a lie, but you just give me 3 and I'll point out which one's a lie.
I can do that. Let's see. About the person
Yeah,
specifically?
of course.
Yeah. You really enjoy the original Full Metal Alchemist over the Brotherhood. You prefer cats to dogs, and let's be honest, you actually hate horses.
The lie is preferring cats to dogs. You hate them both equally. You're horribly misanthropic. Hermione pegs Harry and Ron.
Let's see here. You can break an apple in half with your bare hands. You feel like gnomes are the most interesting 5e race. And you think Remington is a horrible person.
Unfortunately, the lie is the first one. You cannot break an apple with your bare hands because you don't have hands.
Oh, wow.
You just have 4 feet. Crazy.
4 feet? Now, are we talking like an H.R. Geiger situation? Or is this is it just a dog?
I prefer not to dwell on it.
Okay,
Next
fair
up, we
enough.
got my dear old mom.
Let's see. Shaun is one of your favorite son's friends. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. You once pushed a man off a cliff, and finally, you enjoy a nice hot chocolate.
All right, the first one. Next up is Bill.
Yeah, let's be honest. that feels accurate.
Next up is Blue Baron 15.
You have a secret love for the Red Baron. Quite frankly, you are of the opinion that most Nintendo games are overrated. And of course, most importantly, you believe everybody should be able to not wear a shirt whenever they want.
Now, one might think that it's the first one because it's not the Red Baron you think it. No, it's Snoopy as the Red Baron. But that one is true. It's actually the last one that is a lie. They believe everybody should always be wearing a Snuggie at all times.
Oh god, it'd be so hot.
It'd be so hot.
It'd be so
And Shaun also thinks it'd be real sexy. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Whether you want to reach out for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Yes. The girl is helping him out, but then sprinklers turn on and she gets pissed and paranoid and is like,
What the hell is going on?
Who on the roof must have a leak?
"Hey, Yugs, don't shoot my dude."
Holy shit, Rem's got a Glock!
The only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a Remington with a gun.
Rem, you don't understand. I'm way too stubborn for that. I will stare down that Glock as much as I have to. I would not do well in prison.
Shaun, it's okay. I know. I've always known.